Good morning, grade twos. I hope you all had a super weekend and welcome to Magical Monday. Today is Monday, the 30th of March, 2020. Well, after your rest this weekend, we have got a bit of work to do today. Obviously, you're going to start out with your exercises. I hope you are still enjoying your exercises, and I think Mrs. Van Staden needs to start them as well because I can't even take my dogs for a walk anymore. So I also need to exercise and wake up my brain. Then, once you've woken up your brain will be ready for maths. You are going to be working in your mental mathematics week 12 and you're going to do Monday's column. I hope you all enjoyed the mathletics last week. I've been seeing your scores and they are absolutely amazing. You are certainly got very clever maths brains. So, today in mathletics, you are going to be logging on and you are going to be going into space and shape. With space and shape, you are going to come across different shapes. First shape that you remember the most are 2D shapes. What is a 2D shape? A two-dimensional shape is a shape that you can see flat on a piece of paper. It's one of those very thin ones, and I'm going to show you right now. So, if I have a look at my two-dimensional shapes, you can see that they are on paper. I can see they are flat. This is a triangle. This is a square, a rectangle, a heart, a hexagon has 6 sides, and a circle. Then they are going to show you three-dimensional shapes. Now, what is a three-dimensional shape? A three-dimensional shape is when we can see all sides of the shape. So I'm going to show you some three-dimensional shapes. If we have a look over here, I call them the fat shapes. So the two-dimensional are the thin shapes, they're flat on a piece of paper, and the 3D are the fat shapes. If you have a look at these three-dimensional shapes, you can see the edges, which are the sides, you can see the faces, which are the flat sides, and you can see the vertices or the corners. So this shape over here, because we can see most of its sides, it looks like a square, but we call it a cube because it's got fat. This one is a rectangular prism. We have a cuboid, which is also can be a rectangular prism. It's almost like a brick or a tissue box. We have a pyramid, we have a cylinder, and we even have a sphere. That is like our grade 2 soccer ball. Okay, then we are going to move on to symmetry. Now what symmetry is, it's a mirror reflection. Okay, so the one side has to mirror the other side exactly. I'm going to show you a picture. So if we have a look over here, you usually get a vertical line of symmetry which cuts the shape into two equal halves. So if you fold it, it's the same on the right side as it is on the left-hand side. So if you have a look at all these shapes, you can see that they have been divided absolutely equally, and we call that symmetrical. One side looks like the other side. Right, moving on to spelling. And you all did so well in your spelling reflection. The only thing that you all got a bit stuck on, I gave you a picture of the chair. So number 13 was Granddad likes to sit on the big, comfortable armchair to watch TV. Okay, this week we're going to do will, and twill. You are going to watch another video of Mrs. Van Staden teaching you your spelling words, your dots and dashes, and what they mean. Please, grade twos, can you use a whiteboard and a whiteboard marker to complete today's activity? Please don't do your spelling worksheet in your exercise book. Remember, that is for Tuesday and Thursday. Whiteboards for spelling today. Then, going to move on to something very exciting. We have got expressive writing. You are going to be writing me a story. This story is going to be about dinosaurs, and what's extra special is the story is called When the Dinosaurs Came Back to Johannesburg. Oh my goodness! And the streets are very quiet at the moment, so just imagine all those dinosaurs walking around in the streets. Okay, I want you to think about, would there be any dinosaurs at Prydwen? Would you find them? Where would you find them? What would they be doing? Would they be helpful dinosaurs? Would they be pets? Would we be afraid of them? You are going to watch the story on the YouTube When Dinosaurs Came Back. And whilst you're watching that, I want you to think of all those who, what, where, when, and why questions. You are then going to be drawing a bubble map. Okay, you were pretty smart at your bubble maps last week for adjectives. You're going to open up your book to a double page, double trouble. You're going to put if dinosaurs came back to Johannesburg in the middle. Then I want you to think of the questions: who, where, when, what, why, and how. And to start writing down ideas of what your story would be about. Think about it. Story has to have a beginning, a middle, and it needs to end off with something. Now, today you are just doing the planning. So this needs to be done on a double page in your exercise book. Once you've got your ideas around there, I want you to take a picture of it and put it up in Seesaw for Mrs. Van Staden so she can see your planning. We will then begin to write the story tomorrow, which is Tuesday, then Wednesday and Thursday, and then the final product will only come to me on Friday. So you've got plenty of time to think and plan. Our hot skill for this week is understanding. And we are all good readers, and I know you all know how to read, but do you know how to read with understanding? For this activity, you are going to need your HOTS booklet, but if you did forget it somewhere, Mrs. Van Staden has put a PDF up on Google Classroom about understanding. And in this, I'm going to explain the picture of the mangrove tree and why we use it to help us read with understanding. There's also some posters I've made for you to spark off ideas to remind us how to understand when we're reading. And there's also a short video clip on 6 questions, almost like what you need to do in your expressive writing. Who, where, when, what, why, and how. Those are questions that keep coming up every time we want to write a story or read a story. And then finally, you are going to choose one of your readers and you are going to read it with mum or dad or your helper. And remember to use your HOTS booklet just to guide you to understanding, to see that if you really understand what the story is about. I'm looking forward to seeing all your work today, grade 2s. Have a magical, marvelous Monday and know that I really miss you.